The last year of high school can be filled with so many things. My senior year in high school, like many others, was so eventful. I went to St. Paul Central High School. I made a ton of friends. I was in student groups. I was high achieving, was on the football team, went to prom, and I even did musical performances. I got accepted to a college and was on my way to graduation. But as these fun things were happening, some very unfortunate events were happening at the same time. As I enjoyed these things, my closest friends that I had met during high school were falling through the cracks in school. They started to get distracted and lose interest in class. They began to sit at the back of the class and put their heads down. Then they were given detention. Then they were suspended. And then they eventually just stopped showing up to school. They would instead go hang out somewhere else. Most of my close friends never graduated. Whenever we hang out nowadays and talk about the past, they would all always say that they loved learning and would talk about their memories in class. I was so confused. They liked school, but they never graduated. So then I asked myself why. Why did they not graduate? Was it their fault? Was it the teacher's fault? The school system? Or maybe it was because of the way they were treated because they were Hmong, or that they're poor, or that sometimes they just looked like they're from the hood. Out of the 19 people in this picture, only 6 graduated from high school. That's less than 1/3 of the people in this picture. The answer? It was probably a little bit of everything. My friends are Hmong, which means they're second-generation Americans, so their uneducated parents couldn't help them at all at school, and the problems they faced from cultural expectations didn't help. At home, some got pressured to go work. Others suffered from a domestically violent home. They never got into drugs or gangs, but since they come from poor backgrounds, they lived in places that had drugs and gangs. A school like Central High School always talks about students that are smart will always go on to achieve big things. But then why did they not help students like my friends? In school, oftentimes they would lose the only pencil they had and couldn't afford new ones. They are Asian, so because of stereotypes like the model minority, they may have been ignored because they're supposed to be smart. Many of my friends say that when they used to sleep in class, the teacher did not even know they were there, or that they were struggling in class. Even though my friends have gone on to have families and jobs, their high school struggles still overshadow their everyday lives. The injustices they suffered in school and the lack of guidance provided are embedded in the decisions they make about a lot of things. This story was only about one group of struggling kids. There are many different students out there that have different gender, race, and class identities, and are also falling through the cracks in school. My Hmong sisters and other minority students in public schools all have their untold stories. Even though there has been progress in the system, those issues still exist today. As I look around the youth in my community today, I see a lot of potential and bright futures. But we have to make sure that it doesn't get lost in the system. We need parents, teachers, the school districts, politicians, everybody to get involved, to take a look at the system and see the untold stories, so we don't have any cracks for future students to fall through.